and welcome. So, right off the bat, I should explain. This series is going to be different than a typical building a city content. This is something that is a bit more um, specialized, how you say, and it's not going to be building this big grandiose city. We're going to be focusing on building around there will be a city, but we're going to be focusing on building around this lake area. And this series is kind of personal to me because I've taken many trips for half my life actually to this particular area where this was inspired by, and actually I'm recording this the very day that I just got back from the most recent trip up there. When I was talking in the last series about something that I wanted to do, that I had the idea for, this was that idea. Some kind of Canadian big lake fishing thing. So it's going to be more so focused on the lake than any actual towns, but that would go by too quickly. So I did just decide the nearby town of Dryden, Ontario, which is probably the closest town to where this is. I'll explain that in a bit. I decided we can put something like that kind of close to it, just so we have something going on. The real Dryden is about 30 kilometers, I think it is, or so, to the east of this lake. And, this is only part of the lake. The lake's actually really big. And I actually did make a few of the bays similar to what they are. For example, I did try to recreate what is known as Camp 6 Bay. I tried to recreate Meridian Bay, Temple Bay, the entrance to Osborne Bay with there's a bridge that goes over it, the entrance to the Eagle River, and then the Far About Peninsula. Now this lake, the real one, is called Eagle Lake, and that's just what we're going to be calling this series, because that's kind of what it is. So I didn't really have to go and look up anything to what to do, because I know this lake very well. I have many maps of it too, so if I absolutely had to reference something, I could. And obviously the real one is much larger, but I had to scale it down, and not all the things are completely accurate, but still I feel that I ended up making a fairly good looking lake that would fit in with the Canadian Shield Lake region. And yeah, but this we can get into the main unique thing about this series now. I'm not really gonna so much be talking about what I'm building, but because this is such a personal series to me, and because I know this area so well, taking all these trips, I'm gonna talk about stories from those trips. Because I've been up there 9 times, so I have some tales to tell about fishing up there, because that's a thing that I like to go and do. So gosh, where do we start? Why don't we start where it began, I suppose, in that first year. Now, I don't exactly remember how it came to be that I was going up there to Canada, but I do remember where we signed up for it. About 2 hours from where I live, there's this show comes through every year, every January, I believe it's January at least. It is the All Canada show, and there will be a bunch of booths set up for going fishing, going hunting, all that stuff north of the border. And so me and my dad, we went up to this show one year, maybe 8 years ago, and we were like, hey, maybe this would be cool to go and do one of these. And we stumbled across this one called Temple Bay Lodge. And after comparing it to some other lodges, we decided that this would work. This would be the one that we would do. And at the time, we were planning to potentially also bring my elderly grandfather along, and we ended up not doing that because he had health complications. And that ended up being a good thing that didn't come along. I'll get to that in a minute. So we took the bus up there from Minneapolis, which was, fine, nice long bus ride up through Minnesota. And we get up there, go out fishing that evening just for a little bit, and it's fine. It's fine. The next day, so that first day, we don't have a guide at this time. We were like, yeah, we don't need a guide, we can figure it out. But this day is what changes all that, and this day actually gave me fears that I carry with me through life, of storms when I'm on the water. So we're going out across this lake. It's big water. In this lake, the rocks can come up just like that, because that's the kind of lakes that they have up in Canada, up in northwest Ontario. So you have to really be careful. And if you don't have a GPS or a map that marks those spots, you might crash into a rock really easily, and it could be a really bad situation. So we're going out that first day, and we got, I think it was about 7 or 8 miles from the actual lodge, and in a boat, that's a pretty good distance. And I turned to my dad, and I've been looking at the clouds for a second, and they look pretty rainy. All of a sudden, I see thunder. Now I turn to him and I say, well, not see thunder, I hear thunder. Turn to him and say, I hear thunder. And he blows it off. He's like, no, it's fine. It's fine. Just gonna get a little rain. Then, not even 10 seconds later, I see lightning, and I tell him I see lightning. This time, though, he looks up and sees what's about to hit us, how dark the cloud is, hears the thunder, sees the lightning, and he realizes that we have to pretty much book it out of where we are, because this is going to turn into a nasty situation. Now, there was 2 options here. One of the options was we could have put our boat on an island or on a piece of land, just landed and waited out the storm. And the other option, which is the one we end up taking, was trying to get it back to the lodge. By the time we got out to the big water, because we were kind of sheltered near an island, by the time we got out to the bigger water, it had immediately started pouring, and it had, I think there was some hail, or maybe there was just the cold rain pelting on my face through the wind. I'm not sure. It's a similar feeling, but I would be willing to bet it was hail. Gosh, I think it was hail. I hope it wasn't, though. So we get out to the water, and the wind is really bad too. It picks up, and it's incredibly, incredibly choppy. The waves are very high, and this was not a very large boat. At the time, they had smaller boats than what they have now. They've upgraded them recently from Lunds to Kingfishers, which is a very good improvement. So we have our rain suits on. We're still getting wet as all hell, but we decide to book it back to the lodge. And we had decided originally, when we were going to bring my grandfather up, we had decided to purchase this little GPS, handheld GPS, in case we had an emergency and needed to find our way back because of the elderly grandfather. He ended up not coming with us, as I said, but we still took the GPS, and it was very helpful because on the way out, it had marked the path he had taken exactly. So he couldn't see where he was going on the way back, but he was able to follow that GPS in the tracks all the way back to the lodge. And I didn't want to go fishing the rest of the day. That scared me. I thought I was going to fall out of the boat, or we were going to get struck, or something was going to happen, and we were going to basically die. And obviously that didn't happen because I'm here, but that was, I was 9 at the time, and that really did scare me. It scarred me probably forever. Not a terrible scar, but just like, it was scary, and I don't think I'll ever to be comfortable with storms when I'm on the water ever again, or in the wilderness for that matter. When I'm kind of sheltered in like a house or something, then storms are fine. In that case, I love storms, and I tend to like rain. But this changed that. And that's just kind of what happens. Now, I will take a brief moment and say what I'm building on the screen here. We're kind of bringing in the highway. There is a small highway that goes through Dryden and north of Eagle Lake, and it's not like an interstate thing where there's on and off ramps. It's just kind of a highway, you know, 2 lanes each way. Just get on and off it on any road, really. So it's a more casual kind of thing that's going on. Yeah, but that first year changed storms for me, probably forever. It was also the first time I managed to ever catch a northern pike, so that was pretty neat. But the second day we did decide to get a guide, and this guide's name was Brian, and the owner of the lodge just felt so bad because of what we had to deal with that he was gonna, you know, set us up with a guide for free that day. And so we did, and we went fishing with him, and we had a great time. We still fish with Brian today, and he's become more of a friend to us now, actually. We enjoy going up there and talking to him, fishing with him, and it's to a point where we won't even, you know, we won't like to go out with all these other guides. We'll specifically try to go with Brian, and even if that means we can only go with him one day, then so be it. He has this other guy that's his friend that's really good too, Jamie. We ended up doing 2 days with him this year before we had a day with Brian. And you know, I'll get to talking about what happened this most recent trip in probably another video, but we just kind of want to start from the beginning and work our way up. I mean, I feel like that's the most logical thing to do. And they have a lot of muskie. Honestly, let me say that. If you know what a muskie is, they've got a lot of them. From what I hear, I haven't seen it, but they have had a verified 60-pound muskie out of this particular lake, and that is a absolutely gigantic piece of fish. Now, when I go up there, technically, you're not supposed to be catching the muskies. It's kind of illegal. You can't bring them on the boat, but sometimes it happens anyway, and you're not supposed to go looking for them. With that segue, I suppose I can go into the first time I caught a muskie. This was maybe 4 years ago. So we were out fishing with Brian down in this Osborne Bay, which is one of the fishing hotspots I recently found out, especially for this time of year. Again, talk about this year later. And we weren't getting a lot of fish at that particular spot, so Brian and my dad kind of said we should maybe throw some spoons out there. Not like there was pike or anything, because that's what this pike would eat. It was what they call a spoon. But we were basically coding it as saying, there's a muskie here, try to get the muskie. So we put it on, and we tried to go, and then about 6 casts later, we end up fighting this fish for 10 minutes, and I end up with a 43-inch muskie, I believe it was. It was 41, 42, 43, something in there, which was 1 inch smaller than my dad's, but mine was a lot more thick in girth. So I did get the bigger muskie. My dad had gotten his the night before on a different part of the lake, and that was the first muskie I had ever caught, and it was so fun. The fish put up a great fight. And well, we're starting to run out of time on the video here, so I guess this is the part where I try to say hope you enjoyed it. This is definitely a new style of content that I want to do, just trying out to do stories and stuff while the thing just kind of happens in the background. And, you know, comments are appreciated. I want to thank you for hitting 100 subscribers. I've been doing YouTube since 2011, and I had never hit that, so it means more to me than anyone could realize. Even such a number as just 100, which you can count to in a matter of a few minutes. And with that, I will just leave you guys off, and I'll see you in another video. And this is SkyLite signing off.